Hey there, everybody. I guess you wonder where I've been. Nobody really gives a fuck. Okay, you know what? Well, I kind of walked into that one, I guess, because I've opened with that before. Anyway, I haven't made a video in maybe a year. Not that I didn't want to, but it's because my laptop went kind of kaput. Don't worry, I didn't lose any of my files on there because when it started misbehaving, I was able to save it in time enough to get all my files transferred to a portable hard drive. And I really couldn't make any videos until I got a new laptop, and I couldn't really get one until Black Friday. So what? I thought you filmed your videos on your iPad. Oh, I do, but the thing is, I film them on the iPad, but then the way I edit them, the program to edit them, the program I like to use, doesn't work well on tablets, so I need to use a laptop or a desktop, and I actually don't have a desktop anymore. I haven't had one in years. I don't know. After my desktop went kaput, that was years ago, I just didn't replace it because I never really used it that much. But like I said, I was able to get a laptop on Black Friday. See, I mean, you know, with inflation, finances weren't the greatest for a lot of people. And the best time I could afford one was Black Friday. So what? Maybe you could have afforded one sooner if you didn't take so many vacations this year. Man, who do you think you are, my mother? Anyway, today we're gonna, what? Oh, it is my mother. Hi, Mom. Love you. Anyway, today we're going to make a delicious sandwich known as a Cuban sandwich. Now, a Cuban sandwich is traditionally a pressed sandwich made with two kinds of pork. You have roast pork and you have ham. You also have pickles and you also have Swiss cheese. And traditionally, they're served on a special kind of roll. A hoagie roll or a sub roll in this case will work just fine. Dedicating this video to two of my closest friends from Florida, the crazy, well, that's not nice. Well, the crazy in a silly way. Well, the silly mother-daughter team of Kim and Sunshine. They both said, yes, Sunshine is her name. Oh, and that's spelled with a Y, don't get it twisted. Anyway, they said they both enjoy that kind of food, and next time I make it out to Florida, I'm gonna have to bring them some of this. But I'll show them how to make it, and I'll also show you how to make it, so let's do it. Now, since we're making a sandwich, of course we're gonna have our toasted sub roll. Now, you don't have to toast it, but you know I like to toast my sandwiches. Now, when it comes to condiments on a Cuban sandwich, there is only one you need. That is yellow mustard. Now, I know I prefer whipped salad dressing on my sandwiches, but when it comes to a Cuban, mustard is non-negotiable. Why that is exactly, I'm not sure, but that's how it's traditionally made. And you can put as much mustard on it as you like. You don't have to put it on both sides. That's just how I do it. And you don't need lettuce or tomato or anything. But what you do need is pickles, ham. I usually put about 8 slices on there. Yes, I'm serious. Roasted pork. About 3/4 pound of it. And finally, top it all off with our Swiss cheese spread. Now, this is a crazy, huge, but crazy, delicious looking sandwich. Let me get my mouth around this thing and... What? Oh, that's right. This is supposed to be a pressed sandwich. Well, when it comes to pressed sandwiches, an easy way to press the sandwich is like what? Panini press? Yeah, that would do the trick, and so would a contact grill. But if you don't own either one of those things, you can always, you know, I do own a contact grill. I haven't used that thing in years. Anyway, you can press it down like, if you remember from the panini video I made a few years ago, you can just take a 5-pound weight plate, disinfected first, of course, wrap it in heavy duty aluminum foil, grease one side of it, point it to the wrong side at first, and then just press this down onto your sandwich for about 1 to 2 minutes. And oh, if you don't have one of these weight plates, or if you don't even have a landscaping brick like a lot of people suggest. But like I said before, landscaping bricks aren't the kind of thing that most people just happen to have on hand. You can take just 3 heavy-duty serving plates and just press them down for 1 to 2 minutes. I don't think you need to wrap those, but it wouldn't hurt if you did. There. Now it looks like somebody sat on it. Anyway, I'm going to throw it into the handy-dandy 350-degree oven for about 3 minutes to get a little more flavor. Now this is what I'm talking about. And you know, whenever I'm served a Cuban sandwich, it always seems to be cut on the bias. So you can have a diagonal cut instead of a horizontal cut, or could be a vertical cut. They're actually the same kind of cut, but actually diagonal is too. It's just a different angle. Anyway, let's see, how can I do this? That is a delicious sandwich, and I am sure that Kimmy and Sunshine will enjoy it as well. That is going to do it. Actually, no it isn't. You know, I was thinking, and basically, if there are people who are invited to parties and they don't cook very much or at all, a lot of times they're told to bring just chips and dip. Well, you can still bring that, but I'm going to show you how to make a better dip, a nacho cheese dip. And I'm not talking about the kind, those generic ones that are in those small little plastic containers in the chip aisle. See, when I make cheese-based dips, the consistency is, I would say, thicker than my cheese sauce, but not as thick as my cheese spread. And when it comes to cheese sauce, it's similar to the makeup of my mac and cheese sauce, you know, the sauce I use for mac and cheese, rather, with a few added ingredients. So a few steps you might remember a little bit, but I'm gonna bring you through them anyway. Now you should remember that I like to use Marble Jack cheese in my mac and cheese sauce. So that's in there, of course, well, along with the roux of margarine and cornstarch. Well, that was done first. The mac and cheese, sour cream, and seasonings are in there as usual, but we are also going to add 2 teaspoons each of diced jalapenos and diced tomatoes. Don't waste your money on diced tomatoes in a can, because you can dice 2 teaspoons of tomatoes easily in less than a minute. Now that is some delicious dip. Now, of course, I wouldn't just eat dip like cereal or yogurt like this, but you always have to make sure that it tastes good by itself before you add anything else to it. And so you don't have to go to the store anymore and buy them little plastic containers of dip in the chip aisle, like I said. You can serve some dip like this. Serve these with chips, or better yet, serve them with some French fries. Oh, you know what? I just thought of something. About a month or so ago, one of my friends bought too many bags of frozen French fries at the store, and they asked me if I'd like one. I guess they're trying to be funny. But I don't like to see food go to waste, so I said, sure, I'll take them. And honestly, I really don't understand how people eat those things, because I tried cooking them by the manufacturer's instructions, and no matter how long I tried to cook them or how well I tried to cook them, they were cooked through, but they kind of look like, yeah, like that, but I can't show that on the family channel. What? That's your finger? You should get that checked out. What? How do I reheat hot dip? Oh, good question. Now, basically, I tried to reheat the cheese dip or any other kind of hot dip I make. I'll show you some more in the future. Try to do that the traditional way, like in a little saucepan. And no matter how hard I tried, I mean, it just stuck to the saucepan or skillet, even if it was nonstick, even if I greased the pan beforehand. But the best way I found to do it is by reheating it in a double boiler. What's a double boiler? Double boiler is a kitchen appliance, or a small kitchen appliance. It's kind of like two-chambered, where you have one pot at the bottom and another pot or bowl at the top. I mean, you can buy them like that, but it's really easy to make your own. See, all you need is a pot of boiling water and you know what? Let me show you real quick. First, you need a pot of boiling water. Do not fill it all the way to the top. Fill it no more than halfway. Why? Well, because you're going to have to put a metal bowl on top of it. Not just any size metal bowl, but it has to be slightly larger than the pot. And it has to be metal. Plastic will not work, it'll melt it. And also, because this is all metal, you're going to want to handle the bowl with pot holders at all times. Kind of like how you handle a cast iron pan. Basically, if the pot was all the way full of water and then you put this bowl on top, then a lot of water would seep out, and we don't want the water going on the flames. And the other thing you want to do next is, well, not next, but make sure that, it's kind of hard to tell here, but I did grease the bowl. I only greased the middle of it because you put in a little bit of leftover cheese dip in there. Now, if you're using the double boiler to melt or heat up something else, then grease as much of the bowl as you need to. Now, as you can see, I've added the leftover cheese dip, and even if you had that dip overnight in the refrigerator, it should be, with this double boiler situation, it should be warm enough to serve in about 4 minutes. And when you move it around, some of the cheese dip in this case will still stick to the bowl, but that's okay. It's a lot better than if you try to reheat it in the skillet, then most of it will just stick to the skillet, and that's not okay. Now, that is going to do it. And as you remember, you can find all the recipes under here. I even included a recipe for the French fries. Thanks for being with me. I'll see you again soon. And what? Aren't you gonna mention the greatest baker? Oh, you know, for the last couple months, I have been lucky enough to be in a competition called The Greatest Baker. And I wasn't going to mention it because, well, I didn't win. I got in 4th place. And that was really disappointing, but I got to thinking about it, and for this competition, they scoured the entire country, maybe even people outside of the country. And there were literally hundreds of applicants, maybe even thousands. And the fact that I was chosen out of all these hundreds or thousands of applicants, me being a home baker, I never went to pastry school, I never went to culinary school. The fact I got into 4th place after all of those hurdles, that is quite the accomplishment, and I am very proud of myself. And what? Does that mean you're going to stop baking? Hell no. Nothing is ever going to make me stop baking. Well, after I'm dead, I can't bake anymore. But anyway, I still bake something. I baked some delicious caramel apple crisp. You used to probably see this in cheesecake form. But, and you may think it looks a little thicker than it normally does. It's actually the same thickness as the cheesecake one. But since I'm not layering it, I cooked it all at once. And Sunshine and Kimmy said they do enjoy caramel apple crisp, so I hope they enjoy this, because, you know what, they live in Florida, but I'm going to have to send them some of this because I can't eat all of this by myself. Anyway, thanks for being with me. I'll see you again soon, and what? Oh, nice try. You know I don't give out any of my cheesecake-like recipe. Well, actually, to be fair, this technically isn't a cheesecake. You know what? I can tell you how I make this. Excuse me, I'm going to tell you why I wash the dishes real quick. See, first what you need are some apples. And then you have to... You get all that? Good. Thanks for being with me, and I'll see you guys again soon. you guys are no fun. Happy Saturday.